No, he's actually asking stupid. No, I'm not giving you an ID. Is that a arrestable offense?
What's going on?
Nothing.
Well, why are we getting calls about you?
On a cold evening in La Crosse, Wisconsin, November 17th, 2024, began like any other Sunday for residents at a local apartment complex. That quiet night took a sharp turn when police dispatchers received multiple calls reporting a disturbance outside the building. Witnesses described a 55-year-old woman who was shouting, swearing, and allegedly threatening bystanders.
Cross Police, what's the issue?
Nothing. So, you don't have no family members left?
The confrontation escalated when she reportedly approached one man in particular, directing racially charged remarks toward him. By the time officers arrived, the woman was in no mood to soften her stance. Body camera footage later revealed that rather than calming down, she leaned into confrontation.
So you know how red this country was?
Yeah. Did you not see how red this country was when they
I'll talk to you
voted?
over here. Okay.
Alternating between sarcastic comments, political rants, and open defiance toward the officers. From the first exchange, it was clear that this was not going to be a quick, straightforward call. When an officer first tried to determine what had happened, the conversation immediately went sideways. The woman, whose name was not released to the public, launched into a confusing defense. She denied being racist, but also avoided directly addressing what she had allegedly said.
Is that a arrestable offense?
What's going on?
Nothing.
Well, why are we getting calls about you?
She claimed that the situation had been blown out of proportion because someone had hurt feelings, implying that the man she'd interacted with had overreacted. She admitted she didn't live in the complex and said she had simply been walking through when the man confronted her. According to her, their interaction began when she told him it didn't matter who was president because the president's not going to fix the country.
Well, I don't know. He said, hang out here, I'm calling the cops. Okay. Why you want me to talk to you? I don't know.
She denied making prejudiced statements, instead framing herself as someone merely expressing political opinions. She accused the officers of asking stupid questions and compared their actions to something a political opponent might do. The man who had called 911 gave a markedly different account. He said he was on his way to get groceries when the woman approached him out of the blue. At first, she asked him something vague, but soon her comments shifted toward political and personal territory. She allegedly told him how red it is and suggested he was invading, though her exact meaning was unclear. The man said she tried to keep the conversation going even as he tried to walk away. Things became tense when she allegedly suggested he get into her car, which he declined. Initially, he told officers there had been no physical contact, but as the conversation unfolded, he claimed she had shoved him.
Yeah, you've had quite a bit to drink tonight, haven't you?
No, I haven't.
I can smell it coming from
No, I have had a drink, but what I'm saying is you asking stupid, like...
The woman laughed at the suggestion, saying she wasn't attracted to him and would have no reason to touch him. She also accused the man of making up the physical contact claim entirely. As officers tried to clarify events, they asked her for identification. This was the turning point. She repeatedly refused, saying she hadn't done anything that required her to identify herself and that she wanted a lawyer. Officers explained that without her name, they couldn't check for warrants or verify her identity. She dug in her heels, claiming they could book her in if they wanted, but that she wasn't going to cooperate voluntarily. Her resistance quickly took on a mocking tone. She accused the officer of siding with the man who had called, criticized his posture, and told him to bring your shoulders down because they didn't intimidate her. When one officer put on gloves, she claimed it was because he wanted to erase her, and she interpreted the action as preparation for some kind of attack. Eventually, the officer informed her that she was under arrest for obstructing an officer and disorderly conduct. She protested loudly, insisting the only reason she was being taken into custody was her refusal to provide her name.
Because you already took his side. So bring your shoulders down because they don't scare me. Lozena, no.
Officers explained again that her non-compliance combined with the disturbance call gave them probable cause. During the arrest process, her accusations continued. She claimed the officers were trying to take her money, calling them crazy and weirdos. While being searched according to department policy, she accused one officer of inappropriate contact, repeatedly making crude remarks about where his hands were. The officer maintained he was simply following procedure and reminded her that all actions were recorded on body camera. Once placed in the squad car, her behavior took an even stranger turn. She began barking aggressively at a police K9 named Rock. The officer told her to stop, but she continued, making loud guttural noises.
You ID ain't done nothing for you to ID me.
What's your name?
It don't matter. Ask him. He's the one that called you.
Soon after, she started banging her head against the inside of the vehicle. Officers tried to get her to stop, but she ignored them and persisted. While dealing with her outburst, one officer spoke to the man who had made the call. He had recorded parts of the earlier interaction on his phone and claimed that when the camera was down, she made additional racial remarks. He said the recording captured only part of what she had said, and the rest was verbal abuse she timed when she thought she wasn't being filmed. Back in the squad car, her behavior showed no signs of calming.
You're under arrest for obstructing disorderly conduct.
I ain't done nothing.
And I don't know if you have any bonds or anything, or if you're on probation.
She began yelling insults, telling one officer he was a disappointment in all areas of life, and making odd bam bam sounds as she struck her head again. Her defiance seemed aimed at pushing the situation to its limit, perhaps to prove her earlier accusations that the police were out to get her. Officers coordinated with the county jail to arrange for her to be held. They discussed whether her racially charged comments might fall under additional criminal statutes. But the consensus was that her actions most clearly fit disorderly conduct and obstruction.
So you are going to jail. There's nothing changing my mind about
I
that.
didn't say that. Cigarettes.
The arrest was not without its challenges. Managing someone who refuses to cooperate verbally, physically resists nonviolently, and continues to provoke officers with both insults and bizarre behavior requires patience and adherence to procedure. Officers work to maintain their composure despite the verbal attacks, crude accusations, and disruptive behavior in the squad car. In the end, prosecutors filed only a misdemeanor disorderly conduct charge.
Do you have a t-shirt under this?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is this place though, for real? I'm asking. You ain't gonna tell me?
No assault or harassment counts were included, and her alleged racial remarks were not prosecuted separately. She spent 2 days in custody before being released on an $11,000 signature bond, a type of bail that does not require immediate payment unless she fails to appear in court. The footage from that night, later released by Code Blue Cam, drew attention not only for the nature of the disturbance, but also for how unusual the encounter was.
I have to, it's by policy, I have to.
What
check
do you
it.
want? I ain't got no. You think I'm a...
What started as a relatively minor public disturbance spiraled into a full arrest because of non-compliance, personal insults, and increasingly erratic behavior. For the witness, what began as a routine grocery run turned into a bizarre confrontation with a stranger who wouldn't leave him alone. His call to police stemmed from her persistence and unsettling remarks, which he felt crossed the line into harassment. For the officers, it became a balancing act, keeping control of the situation while being filmed, enduring personal attacks, and ensuring that an uncooperative suspect was processed lawfully. The incident underscores a broader point about police interactions. In Wisconsin, refusing to identify yourself during a lawful stop can be enough to warrant arrest for obstruction. Even without an underlying violent offense, failure to comply with basic requests can turn an encounter into a criminal matter. While the courts will ultimately decide how to interpret her actions that night, the events paint a picture of a person unwilling, or perhaps unable, to de-escalate when given the opportunity. The officers repeatedly tried to get her side of the story, offered chances for voluntary compliance, and explained the consequences of refusal. Each time, she chose confrontation over cooperation. Her release 2 days later brought the incident to a temporary close, but the memory of that night will linger for those involved. Whether remembered for her political rants, her accusations against the police, or her surreal choice to bark at a K9 unit, her behavior turned what could have been a quick conversation into a 20-minute spectacle. For residents of the apartment complex, it was an unexpected disruption. For the man who made the call, it was an uncomfortable brush with an unpredictable stranger. And for the officers, it was a reminder that no call is truly routine, because you never know when a simple disturbance will turn into a test of patience, professionalism, and procedure.
Videos?
I do have some videos.
Did you show him?
I didn't. No.
Okay, you just want to show me quick?
In the end, the charges were relatively minor, but the incident serves as an example of how public disturbances can spiral out of control when emotions, alcohol, and defiance collide. What began as a walk through an apartment complex ended with a middle-aged woman in the back of a squad car, barking at a police dog and hurling insults at anyone within earshot. A scene as baffling as it was unnecessary. And that wraps up. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. And until next time, stay safe and stay curious.